The idea of the Innovation Centre was we're going to be taking all of the different Cisco technologies, whether it be our switching, which includes PoE+, which is up to 30 watts per Ethernet port, to universal PoE, which is a new standard Cisco's just coming out with 60 watts per port, and being able to combine that with our unified compute system, unified server, so our UCS server. We've added in communication manager, mobility, we've got digital signage, and video conferencing in this room. But the idea is that we're bringing it into here so that our innovation partners, like the companies that we would bring in to help us work on a building and make it a smart building, that they can come in and they can test their equipment and work through code, work through applications and solutions, and do it in an area here where they can test it all out and not be doing it on a customer. So if you take a look at it, one of the things we ended up doing is we wanted to extend the applications over to the phones. So whether it be, it doesn't matter which phone I end up using, this touch screen on this one. But if I take a look at it and I want to be able to control lighting, what I'd be able to do is, from my desk, be able to set the lights according to a level that I find more comfortable. And if you think about it, what that does is that eliminates the need for a light switch, eliminates the need for a dimmer. It doesn't sound like a lot, but to tell you the truth, it could be $200 to $300 when you take into consideration the wiring, the labor, and the actual hardware associated with it. So if I wanted to do the lighting on this one, I would go into my lighting control, and those 4 lights there are the lights that we've got set up on the system here. So if I want to take them down to, if I want to turn them off, or if I want to turn them up to 100%, I can do it that way. So what I can do with the HVAC control, and this is part of the HVAC control here. I've got a card on here only showing the damper opening and closing. This is the HVAC controller that Rick mentioned that is ESC, or the people who have provided it to us here. Delta Controls or manufactured it. It's a PoE-powered HVAC controller, a VAV controller box. And what it means is normally you would have low voltage plus communication going to one of these units. And to put it in perspective here, on a floor plate of building of this size, this normally you'd have about 40 of these in a floor of this size. This one is powered through the Cisco switch. It's receiving its power and communication over one Ethernet port. And what that does is that saves installation dollars, and it allows it to be addressable, and you can do many other things with it because it's access onto the network. So if I wanted to change the temperature, what I could do from my phone, what is it set at now? If you take a look up here, it's showing that the set temp shows 20 degrees. And say I'm finding it a little bit cool, I want to change to 24 degrees. You can see it'll change the set temp to 24 degrees, and the thermostat has gone up. Now that's for air conditioning. If you wanted to put it for heating, it would just be, you could go the opposite direction. So again, we're putting the control at the desktop. That's going and integrating it through Communication Manager. That means that anybody can control their environment and be able to do it. Now, the idea of having the integration between the different systems. We've got a fire alarm system here right now. We don't have it connected into the system. Fire alarm has got to stand on its own. That's part of building code. But what we'll do is we'll glean the information from it and be able to provide information to digital signage, whether it tells people which way to exit, or it might give them a written communication of what's going on in case they're hearing impaired. So there's just different things you can do, and we do have this set up. What I just want to show is where we can actually get to is your card swipe coming in, so your badge access. You can actually have it so that when you badge in the morning, or coming in on the weekend, it can set your lights, set your temperature, turn on security cameras, so when you're coming in. So if I take the card, I just do the card access, what I can do is, there's my lights coming on. Now, I could have it set up so it's doing my temperature as well, and also it could activate IP cameras in addition to that.
Digital signs are used everywhere, and so they're used at the Rogers Centre, at retailers, at hospitals, things like that. Where we've gone with digital signs is to make them interactive, because most of us want information when we want it, where we want it. And so one of our customers is the New York Transit Authority, and in this application, so this is a touchscreen application, and think of it really as an iPad on steroids. It's very interactive, very touchscreen. You can integrate with your smartphone to download information, and then you can So if you're disabled, if you're in a wheelchair, the screen can change modes, and so the information is down here versus up here for most users. And then when you want to find certain users, certain locations on the map, you can go to the MTA map, and you can load up the map and it's touchscreen interactive, so you can find where you're going. And the concept here is, all of us when we go to New York are visitors. And so you want to find out where are the museums, where are the shows, where are the restaurants, where should I be going. You can easily find the content here. And so New York is locating this in their subway system, so you don't have to ask the attendant where you're going. You can find out the information here. And as I said, it's very interactive. The interesting point is, a third of the screen is advertising. And so the New York subway system is paying for this installation via the advertising that they can sell to other people in the city.
And just as we see technology having huge impacts on large-scale buildings, the technology is also having a big play within the homes. We see convergence of networks. We see IP enablement of different devices, and just as in office or hospitality or the hospital marketplace, if you go into your home, you're starting to see all sorts of different devices that are starting to become networked and IP enabled. Some of the devices might be your refrigerator, it could be your cappuccino machine, or a security camera. It could be lighting. I've seen some cases where there's IP enablement in your bicycles and in your cars. So all this leveraging of IP is creating different opportunities to develop experiences for the home. What do you want from your home when you come home? And we started talking about, I want my home to be more comfortable, I want it to be safer, I want it to be more entertaining, I want it to be able to connect to my home remotely. I want my home to tell me when it's in trouble. I want it to tell me when it's consuming too much energy. So we're having a ton of fun right now embedding different sequences and scenes and functionality in the home. And how we're doing that is we have a series of different building blocks and different products. So I'll just sort of point these out to you. It's kind of broken into 4 buckets. There's products from Cisco, which would be sort of in the forms of controllers, handheld routers and switches. We have another company with a strategic alliance called Control4. You saw that emblem that Rick had presented earlier, and Control4 has a series of products in the areas of thermostats, touch screens, light switches. Then we have a whole equal partnership of products that come from third party, and it could be represented in the areas of locking systems for your doors, CCTV cameras, and say motion detectors. And then the 4th part, and this is kind of what really people are interested in, is there's different ways to interface with your home. And it could be my large screen TV, it could be a touchpad, it could be some type of an iPad device, and I do have some Androids and iPads. But what we do is we've got a whole selection of different devices that enable people to have choices. But again, regardless of what type of device I'm using, the functionality is the same.